My stomach gurgling.
Right. I think we're officially live. Now we're just waiting a few minutes to make sure everybody.
Hi, everybody. Give us a second.
There we are.
Here we are.
Hi, Marlene. Glad you could join us.
Hi.
Just waiting a few minutes, let the lag catch up before we start. Just so people aren't coming in last minute and we're already like mid-sentence and ready to go.
Jibber jabbering away.
Right. Oh. And
Yes.
while we do that, entertain the masses. I have to go get the wine.
Oh, yes. Yes, you must.
How dare I forget probably the most important part of the show, right?
Wine. Yes. How is everybody? Hope you guys had a good day. It's been a hectic one for me.
Yeah.
So hope you guys was much smoother. More relaxing. So, hi, everybody. Once you're in, do us a favor, give us a love, give us a like. Go ahead and share the feed. I'm going to share right now as well while we're waiting on the wine. It's very important. Please feel free to get your own wine right now during this moment.
I found a new one.
What'd you find?
So we will see how the new wine tastes. Yes, I bought it by the label. Because how can you go wrong with the raven holding a bra? Raven's Glen Moon Dreams is what we're going to be trying tonight. And feel free, guys, to start asking any questions about tonight's topic. We will try to address everything this evening. Topic tonight, things to do with spring, creativity, and possibly fertility, though not everybody needs fertility. And just keep in mind, fertility isn't always giving birth to babies.
No, it could be your garden. It could be other things. It's not just having little ones, making more people.
Because let me tell you, mine's almost 18. Hi, Mike. I'm not looking to start that 18-year clock again. So,
no. I have granddogs. I don't have grandchildren. All of my kids are grown, though I still have 2 stuck at home.
Uh-oh. I can't get it out.
I hate when that happens. You're
But,
not a good
hopefully,
alcoholic.
we'll be trying. I can't get it out.
Well, bear with us. This is a crisis moment.
Right. Yeah, here, you play.
And
we'll get started.
I'll try not to bang on the table.
Yeah, don't bang the table. Okay, so we wanted to go over some items to be used if you are looking to do some springtime growth magical rites, intentions. So we figured we'd cover some stones, some candle working, a couple of the herbs, and what else, and maybe ways to set them up and how to use them. And again, feel free to ask questions as we go through this if you need some more clarification. Pay no mind to the woman in the back. Been a hectic day.
Hectic is an understatement.
If the little birdie hadn't like whispered in my ear like you're forgetting the wine, we probably wouldn't even have it.
We might not have it.
So one of the easiest things that you can do is incorporate stones into your candle workings, into your little poppets. If you make little poppets for intention to either set in a sacred space or even for a little one, like if if they're into having little, what do you want to call them? Like snuggly little things for sleeping.
Little cuddly things.
So using one that's brightly
Whoopies.
colored, oranges, reds, yellows are all associated with spring. And it also correlates into the bottom 3 chakras: root, sacral, and solar plexus. And those are the chakras and colors that where your creativity, your sense of self and being, and how to start that process of creating. And they also coincide with the reproductive organs. So similar how everything ties in together. So even having the colors, you get the energy and the magic of the colors by using those, as well as the properties of these stones, the herbs, anything else that you're going to be putting in there. So you can make little things like this and throw the herbs or the stones. This one is just a positive vibes one, which is kind of, you can use it for anything. So if you wanted to, if you're a musician or an artist and you feel like you need new ideas, new ways of approaching your craft, this is something that you can do. Have that sitting in your creative space. If you have a dedicated area where you do your work, where you're doing your writing, where you're doing your creating, having, something like this nearby can help. You can also have the stones just sitting there themselves. Stones like sunstone, yellow fluorite, as well as red and oranges calcites. These all help stimulate thoughts, creativity, those areas of the body. So keeping these either just in your pocket. Some of us ladies, we stick our rocks in our bra if we're running around in a skirt or pants that don't really have pockets. Keeping these around. They work best when they're within 2 feet of you. So putting them in your purse and then leaving your purse on the kitchen counter by the door, but you're in your creative area, it's not really going to do a whole lot of benefit for you unless your creative area is in the kitchen near that counter by that door. Keeping them with you. The fun thing about things with the points, here's like the cherry calcite. This is one of my favorites. And we got more of the orchid. So that's also very orangey, very springish. I mean, the name's even orchid. The things with the points, if you're creating like a sacred area and you're trying to generate that and kind of send that out, putting points in the middle of that area help take that energy, that intention, and come up through the point and kind of umbrella it out. So it's directing the energy up and out. Another way or another stone that you could put in there would be a sphere, something round, and it's going to radiate the energy out in a even, equal movement. So depending on how you need that energy to flow, you can even put them like under your chairs.
I got this far.
where you sit, where you create. If you don't have room on your desk, stick it under your chair. There's all the ways you can do that. But putting stones, not only in like a grid space, your altar space, you can use little bits around your candles. Some people will put them inside the candle, like actual inside. That is okay. All right, Kristen, we'll get to that here in a second. Good for you.
Question.
But be mindful when you're adding things into candles, you don't want to make it so hot that your glass cracks or breaks. So always be mindful of that, but you can absolutely put a few little pieces in the candle, do your intention, your blessing, then light it. You can add your oils for spring, things along fertility, creativity. You can also use, and I thought I brought it over here, an all-purpose oil. Here it is. All-purpose. And the fun thing with all-purpose, it's kind of blank. So you can pour some out in a little jar and put the intention, put your magical thoughts and intentions into it that, that bit of oil is for something to do with like fertility. If you are actively trying to have a baby.
Excuse me, we have finally
we have
achieved
success. And then you can either just put a few drops in top of the candle. You can anoint outside of the glass. And we may have to do one of these about the proper ways of anointing, because there's no one way to anoint a candle.
There's no wrong way, is there?
Yeah, I mean, there's safety issues.
Okay.
So the wrong way that way is for safety. You can take like a little toothpick or something, etch into the top what your desire is of fertility, creativity, new things, new birth, new things that need to come forth, and then light your candle. This particular one is Tonka and Ode, very good for wishing, good luck, positivity. So this is a new one that we have. That being said too, Ode incense is good to have in that working. Just burning in the background, burning it periodically, even if you're not actively sitting there, actively working on it, to help keep you in that mindset of what you're working and to keep that energy flowing. Hey, Laura, what do you recommend for harmony in the home and family? Blue calcite is really good for calming.
Didn't we grab some? Don't we have some on the table?
We have some, just not here on the table.
I thought we grabbed it.
But the blue colors are very healing and very calming. I don't know why more hospitals don't use more blue. The fact that there's so much yellow, which has been kind of proven to kind of increase anxiety. Mm-hmm. They should really have more blue than yellow in hospitals. But you can take pieces of blue calcite, angelite.
Angelite is for sure a good one. It's one of my favorites as far as anxiety to help create some harmony.
But putting pieces in the outer corners of the house creates a grid. So all of those pieces start talking to one another. You could put a quartz point in the center of the house somewhere to help magnify that. Or you can even put a tumbled quartz in with each blue calcite to help strengthen them, because quartz is a magnifier. It's probably one of the few stones that I will tell people kind of has a warning label, because it magnifies whatever it's around and also the energy that's around it. So if you are already kind of in a funky, bad mood, keeping that quartz around you, it
is going to amplify that mood.
May make it harder to get out of it. Hello, Facebook user. It doesn't tell me your name, but hello. So the blue type of stones are really good. Rose scents are good for calming and peace.
Lavender.
Mm-hmm. But, other type of candles, and these might even be easier for some people in the working, because you have the whole wax exposed, that you can actually etch into it. Mm-hmm. Creating what you want to say. There's no one thing to say. It's what feels good to you. Any symbols that you may come up with, or even that resonate for you. If you're thinking, again, like, hey, and I wonder if there's somebody who's thinking about fertility, because I was automatically thinking on creativity for arts and music, but what keeps coming out of my mouth is baby work. And I'm like, why? That's not what was planned. If things like rabbits or Easter eggs or just anything that resonates to you that means baby, etch that in there. Don't worry about how well it looks in art. Nobody's going to see it. Just you. Nobody's going to know.
It's the intention.
Etch that into the wax. Put the oil on there. Spend some time thinking about what you want and raising that feeling of how happy you're going to be once that comes through for you. And then light your candle. So using these three colors, again, are in that creative and fertility area of not only the human body, but pretty much all animals. And that's just the energy that they carry, which is another reason why, they're spring colors. Wonder why. Green kind of falls in there, but it depends on the green, I think. More of like that emerald green to light green versus the dark royal greens.
Right.
But
like
using
the seagrass green or the sweetgrass green.
Yeah.
As an example.
So yeah, and like Sandy's pointing out, using sweetgrass, it's a blessing. So a lot of people will use sweetgrass as their saging or smudging. For me, it's always a little, it feels better to me to smudge first then do the sweetgrass, because you're then cleansing and then you're blessing. But I know some people like using that sage and sweetgrass together because they get it in one shot, and that's fine too.
One and done.
Right. Well, some of us, are tight time schedule,
That's true.
But sweetgrass is another type of candle or scent to use for the blessing and welcoming in whatever it is you're trying to bring forth. What are you trying to bring in and bring forth? So sweetgrass. What did you bring over?
Oh,
what did you pick out,
nothing.
Miss Sandy?
Nothing. I didn't get much. No, I was thinking, so maybe this is why you've got fertility on your mind, because I was thinking more along the lines of fertility. And like you said, fertility doesn't just mean making babies. For those of us who plant, who want to start something new, whether it's an endeavor, a relationship, anything new beginnings. You want it to be fertile. You want it to bear fruit. You want it to do well. Mm-hmm. So one of the tumbled stones that is for fertility, as far as you want babies, is the Kebab Jasper, which I know we've shown skulls, but we also have it in tumbles, which is what I've brought out with me today. And so these are good to grid with. And for those in the event anybody is looking to get pregnant, to conceive, grid them around the bed. Mm-hmm. And that's going to help. I wouldn't necessarily include the quartz unless you want triplets. Just saying. And does it run in the family, those triplets? Well, do you want to tempt that fate? Right. Twins run in my family, and I was grateful that I didn't have to deal with any of those. So. Yeah, they run, and my aunt got smacked with it, and I'm like, yes, I only had the one. I'm good. My aunt as well. More. My aunt as well. What else do we want to talk about? We have so much. Things. I know things are kind of all over the place. And we were literally like running to get ready because there was just still people here. We're like, we got to go. Yes. Scoochie. Blue fluorite is another one for that area. Even though it's not in that general color scheme. And this was the blue fluorite that I could find. And it kind of comes through up in here and a little bit here, though it's kind of paled out because of the lights. But blue fluorite is another one. And I want to say, here's another reason why it's going to be helpful. So if you're overstressed in trying to create anything, be it baby, your new book, your new garden bed, that stress will have physical repercussions on you. So it may make it harder to conceive too. Mm-hmm. To where, kind of throws your physical body out of whack. And we all know that talking and singing to plants make them grow better, feel better. But if you're overstressed and if you're aggravated and you're like, oh my God, why just won't you grow? Well, that tone comes out. It's all in the tone. You could babble to them, but if you babble in the sweetest voice and tone, that matters almost more than the content. So it's your intent, your tone. Mm-hmm. Teresa was asking about stones in the herb gardens. You can use moss agate is good. Tree agate, and then green kyanite as well. Mm-hmm. I've also been told, why can't I ever say the word selenite? Thank you. Not cellulite, but cellulite. I've been told that works, though I have not yet tried it because I know it's water soluble to begin with. So I suppose a small amount, little chips in there aren't going to hurt anything, especially if it's something you're going to eat or consume. And I know what marigolds, though, too, if you have the deer problem trying to eat your new garden, if I remember right, marigolds around the perimeter of the garden will keep deer from coming in. They help keep some insects out as well. They also repel. One of the things I like to do for my back patio, maybe I'll put one together for you because I know you enjoy your front porch, is I put together basically almost like an anti-bug, anti-mosquito type potters with lemongrass, basil, different things that way work. And one of the other ones is I do marigolds as well in there. Mm-hmm. I used to grow some monster marigolds in the front yard when I had time to tend to such things. Yeah, well, that's a hard one. Mm-hmm. I was out, since it's been nice, I've been out planning the restructuring of my yard and fencing and getting ready for gardening.
Gardening.
For gardening. So moss agate is good though.
Oh,
We
we
have
have some.
I didn't grab loose moss agate, but I brought somebody who can help garden. So here's
So this is what moss agate. It's very green, agate. This fun guy, lady. I'm sorry, it's
Mhm.
Maggie.
Thank you, Rhonda.
Just a country girl who loves cow decor, enjoys a slow, easy lifestyle.
She'll garden too.
Yeah. So yeah, Rhonda says selenite ground up is gypsum and soil additive to break up clay in the garden. So
Good to
thank
know.
you. But moss agate, green and opaque with the white running through it, whereas tree agate is a more solid white with green running through it. At first, they kind of look similar, but then you'll notice it's that white coloring will help you differentiate between the two. But they're both very good for the gardens. And there's nothing that says you can't use rose quartz, especially if you love it and you're trying to give that love to the plants. Rose quartz. Though I think with some of the stones, maybe poking them down in the ground just so certain types of little animals don't run off with the shiny pretty.
Right.
Because who knows, maybe a neighbor has a friendly little crow that brings them shiny gifts and there's your rock. And now your neighbor has that fun little rock.
Yeah, I would be upset if the crows in my neighborhood gave stuff to other people. They need to just be
But
my
not
crows. No, yeah, they need to come to me,
Only
not
bring
take
me
stuff.
presents.
Not take stuff. But since we're on the subject of herbs, it was funny. I had bought the Witch's Book of Potions a while ago, and going through stuff and talking with one of my best friends that we've literally known each other our entire lives. She said, "Well, it's no wonder we're drawn to that. We even made potions as kids." And she remembered the name of a potion that we made. She was like, "Don't you remember our potion of motion is what we called it." And we were, I don't know, second grade, third graders, if that, 6, 7, 8 years old. And I thought, gosh, you're right. And there is a spring green potion you can make. This one is for drinking. It's very simple. It's stuff most of us have in our cupboards. It's sage, thyme, oregano, and basil. You just charge them with your intent. Bring them, pour in, make a tea. You brew it, and then once it's cooled, just strain it, and it's ready to drink. And it also coincides with Easter, Ostera. I can't speak today. It's attuned to the energy of growth found within because of the shift from winter to spring. And we can actually harness that power and use it to enhance everything we do. So that was one of the ones that I'm like, oh, I need to bring that because that's an easy one to make. And you don't have to go to the ends of the earth or the ends of the internet to find the ingredients to make.
Right. It's always nice when it's easy stuff that you probably have in your kitchen or go right down to the grocery store and pick up. If you are somebody that is more of a tactile, you like physically doing something, so you feel like you're doing a working and an intention rather than just kind of intending and lighting a candle. Or in addition to using one of the stones that help for your purpose. You can take the stone and then whatever symbol or short phrase that you have decided is almost like your mantra of what you're working towards. Use that to either on yourself, either in the area, like inscribe it in. You can do the same thing, like in an aerial picture of like your garden or of your music room, or even like on your guitar, like print out what that is and put it there. Write the little notes and put them in the ground and let them dissolve and put that energy into your garden working. Ladies, if you wear makeup, or I guess even gentlemen, if you have a sigil that you're working with, put that on your foundation before you spread it in. I mean, there's so many ways that you can do this, and you already have it in your house. It's just how creative can you get with what you have to help bring in what you need. You can, depending on the jewelry that you have, if you have stones that already coincide with that intention, just kind of putting that intention into the jewelry and then wearing it and allowing that intention to come through. I think sometimes for some people, the biggest inhibitor of why something won't work is the fear of what will happen if it comes through. So you may really, really want that baby, but are you worried about, are you going to have enough money? Is your house big enough? Do you need another car to get another car seat in? Making sure you are comfortable with that coming through first. So you are allowing that intention to work. You
have to be open for it. And it goes more than just what you think.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot more to it.
You can do showers to help bring it in, or baths even. This one is a clover and straw flower bath bomb square. You can make your own bath bombs with whatever herbs that will coincide with what you need. But having that bath and that allowing it to come into the body, to seep in, and then as you're draining your tub, or even your shower, if it's more of like you have a water that you're washing with, maybe I think some places like they don't even have baths anymore. It's all showers.
Mm-hmm.
Not for me. I want a bathtub that all of me fits in.
Agreed.
Washing the water over and allowing it to come in. For most of us, things coming down over the head is what is coming in, and things that we're letting go of are through the feet. So having or allowing the new to come in, the new idea, the new thought, the new music riff, the new picture in your head that you're going to create to come in, and the resistance that's holding you back to leave through, and that it drains through the tub, and make the mental effort to drain it all the way to the sewer.
You get it all the way out there.
I don't know. Something about it getting stuck in the pipes. Like
the last thing we need.
Send it all the way out.
Get it out.
So anybody have any questions or suggestions? Feel free to write them in.
Rhonda's all about the baths too. Yes.
Oh my God. Yeah. Why is it so hard to find a bathtub that an adult can fit in anymore? I want the clawfoot tub.
My girlfriend when growing up, her parents had the clawfoot tub, and I think it was a 5 or a 5.5 foot one. It was huge. Oh. And so when they remodeled, they sent it out to be reglazed. Mm-hmm. And it took the people that did it, it was literally off property, off site for almost 3 months. And she was so scared that they stole her bathtub, because you could lay down. Somebody who was almost 6 foot tall could lay down in that tub.
Oh my God. I'd so want it.
And I couldn't imagine how much water it held, but was huge.
There's the downside, the water bill.
Yes.
Yes, Teresa says, bath with my tea and salt. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Get one of those little, those tea bags, the cheesecloths, or even a tea ball.
Use the tea ball.
Put the herbs in there and do your bath. I don't really recommend letting them float around loose, because again, when you go to drain, you don't want a clogged tub.
No. Or a cheesecloth bag. Yeah, something.
Mm-hmm. I mean, there's so many ways to do this. It's like, how creative can you get to use what you have? It's not always about having to have that
specialist equipment.
Yeah. I mean, let's face it, when magic workers in olden times, they used what they had in the house. So they weren't running to a shop, and this sounds counterproductive, right? Because I own a shop. Mm-hmm. But I'm also not about just selling it to you because I can.
Right.
I'm not that type of person. They used what they had around. So, I know a lot of practitioners, especially those in certain traditions, like they feel like they have to have the fancy athame atame. And I'm like, honey, they used their butter knife back in the day.
Right.
Or that odd steak knife that didn't match anything else. That's what they used. But it's also
one knife
sense.
Fit all too back then. It could be the only knife.
Exactly. The knife that prepared dinner was also the magical working knife, was mm-hmm. also,
the knife used to harvest things and to cut,
mm-hmm.
cut things as far as foraging and things that way.
But having that special piece sometimes helps keep that mental focus going, and that's completely fine too. So yeah, if anybody has any other questions, but in the meantime, some of the things that we have talked about, the reds and orange colors, sunstone, orchid calcite, which sunstone is really cool and it's hard to show, on camera. But the orange spot should almost like fleck back at you like a metallic orange. And sunstone's also good for helping with seasonal affective disorder, depressions, negative moods. So this is a really good stone to come next winter time. There's also the orange kyanite, which it's a smaller, a little bit more brittle type of stone, but it's another very good one for that.
It is. We have them in a few different sizes. I don't know. This one's really cool because it has some of the little fleck in it.
So like yellow fluorite was another one that we talked about. On top of enhancing creativity, so this helps with the artists. It stabilizes group energy. So if you're in class, like you're in a class and you've got to work with a bunch of people and come up with ideas, maybe have that yellow fluorite hanging in your pocket. It's particularly helpful for cooperative endeavors, supports intellectual activity. So again, the thought, the creativity. At a physical level, it releases toxins. So yellow fluorite, pretty good. Let's see, what else did we have? We have the calcites. Oh, actually, and let's read the blue fluorite. I didn't have blue all by itself. It's kind of encapsulated here with the greens and the purples. Blue fluorite enhances creative, orderly thought and clear communication. It calms or revitalizes energy as needed for the physical and the biomagnetic bodies, effective for the eye, nose, ear, and throat problems, and amplifies your healing potential by tightly focusing brain activity and can invoke spiritual awakening. So we're using our trusty handy dandy crystal Bible for these.
All right. We have a couple questions that came through. Vicky's asking what stone is good for joint pain.
If the joint pain is arthritis, blue lace agate. Though if I remember right, it's also kind of one of those little stipulations where blue lace agate kind of has to touch the area. So it's not necessarily just good enough that you have it on you. It almost has to be, and I'm going to double check this for you.
Yeah, it almost has to be where you are when you can have it on you during rest, as opposed to moving about, unless you can tape it to your knee.
Right, yeah.
Tie it around there.
Let's see. So blue lace agate is a powerful throat healer, counteracting blocked self-expression, releases shoulder and neck problems. Oh, I need to tape that to me. Thyroid and lymph infections, lowers fevers, removes blockages of the nervous system, and treats arthritic and bone deformity, strengthening the skeletal system, and heals fractures. Oh, nope, that one it says position as appropriate.
So you do have to put it upon you, whether it's on, where your aches and pains are. So that's something maybe you do in the evening, in the morning, kind of spend some time with it on you.
So Rhonda asks, after the bath, a good stone to help you sleep. I keep selenite bar, but others. So probably lepidolite. Mm-hmm. It's one that you guys probably hear me talk about all the time, but lepidolite
too, I thought.
Halite helps against like bad dreaming.
Okay.
So that could, if you're having a hard time falling asleep because you're prone to bad dreams and you're trying to hold that off, then having halite. Hey, Heather. Where was I going? Oh, lepidolite. So lepidolite, what makes it purple, or the purple that runs through it, is lithium. Mm-hmm. So if before bed, as you're relaxing, be it if you're reading before bed or just kind of meditating before bed, having lepidolite, be it in a palm stone. I have some worry stones right now, or one of those massage rollers. Should help you kind of fall asleep that way. So lepidolite, lithium quartz, though the lithium's kind of more encapsulated in the quartz, so it's not as easily to get into the skin or through into the body because it's in the quartz. but try Lepidolite for relaxation.
I like Angelite for it too, but that's my preference.
Yeah, Angelite's a nice, good, soft stone. It helps with the angels. I know that there's been a lot of information going around on certain social media platforms about Moldavite and getting, in touch with guides and raising your vibration. And not everybody is comfortable with Moldavite. And let's face it, right now, nobody can get it thanks to
It's really hard.
Social media platform out there. The Campo meteorite is another good one, but Angelite's going to get you in touch with your guides and your ascended masters, and it's going to be in a much more calming and easier raise instead of that real jittery, shoot you there Moldavite. And if you have anxiety, I don't care what they say on that social media platform, that is not the stone to use. No. Stop it.
No, you're just going to aggravate it.
So yeah, don't do that. This is your public service announcement. Don't do that.
Please don't. Did you try your wine?
I did, and it's actually really good. I like it.
It is. It was well worth the effort it took to get into the bottle.
I should have been more prepared, but it's just been a hectic day. But it's Moon Dreams by Raven's Glen. I grabbed this one at a shop in Vermilion.
Oh, and they're local to us, West Lafayette, Ohio.
Yeah. So if you're in the area, West Lafayette, I'm sure some of the wine alcohol stores may have it, but Raven's Glen. I picked this one up at the farmer's market in Vermilion. So if you're in the Vermilion area, that's where I got it from.
Oh, the farmer's market. I missed that. Yeah. I haven't been out there in a while.
But it's a very good local Ohio. It's a sweet red wine. So if you're into sweet and red, this one's good.
It is, and it's not overly dry for sure. Even some sweet wines lately have been dry. I don't like dry wine. I don't want to drink something that makes me thirstier.
So I will admit, I bought it because of the label, and I know you shouldn't buy a book by its cover or a wine by the label, but it worked this time.
Yes, it did. It was a good find.
And I want to say it was around 15, so it's not like it's a stupidly expensive bottle of wine either.
Right.
Got any stone? Okay, so Heather asks, got any stones to get my kids serious about schoolwork? But seriously, remote learning is a pain. Any stone suggestions? I will try anything.
Fluorite. Fluorite is good for learning. It is a good aid. But as far as now, there's really some lodestone. Maybe those will help, Heather. You can put the lodestones on their lap. It'll keep them in their chairs. Kidding, but fluorite is good for.
Well, it could help ground them. So if they're having a hard time because they're too excited, it's too easy to not focus because they're home, and it's almost, if it's more of like an energy thing and they're not getting to kind of run it off, because let's face it, in school, at least they're walking between classrooms a little bit and walking to a cafeteria. They're going somewhere, so it gets to break that monotony. The hematite, the lodestones are heavier. They kind of help ground and help pull that excess down. Carnelian, citrine also help with thought and clear thinking. So does the yellow fluorite.
So it sounds like, Heather, you could maybe use a combination of things.
So for depression, sunstone is great. So is citrine.
Yeah, the sunstone. It's just an example.
So, and we have small, the small tumbled sunstone, if you can get your kids to keep them on them or around them, or, we're moms. We do what we got to do. If we have to tuck it underneath the bed between the mattress and box spring, do it. If you have to tape it to the underside of their desk, do it. Or the chair that they're sitting in, do it. Because let's face it, kids, especially young boys, for the most part, most boys aren't going to carry rocks around, and if they do, they're going to lose them. My son, I would find them in the washing machine. Now that he's 17 going on 18, this is silly. He rolls his eyes at me. He's not interested in it right now. Hopefully he'll come back to it. But do what you got to. That's what we do as moms, right? We fake them out and we do what we gotta. So, there's nothing wrong with putting those stones under under the bed or in between the mattress and box spring. Depending on the headboard, like my son's has like the little holes drilled for, it had been part of a bunk bed system and long got rid of the other part. So in those little holes on his four corners, we have moonstone, tourmaline, and quartz because that helps. Before I had Marianne come out, like we had a nasty old fella.
Yeah, you
hanging
had
around.
somebody who was not.
So that helped make sure that to keep some of that away. But, tuck them in, tape them to the desk, tape it to the chair, do what you got to do for them.
Mhm.
But school, I'm so glad that mine's almost done with it. We'll never have to talk about it again until he
Great,
starts
Heather.
coding.
We're glad you'll be in tomorrow.
Yep, I'll be here. Colleen will also be in with me, so either one of us can help get those squared away. Another fun fact for anybody in school, this is so not spring related. We're going to tie it in that it's spring and school's almost done. Ha, I made it work.
You did.
Diffusing rosemary while they are studying or working on schoolwork, and then diffusing that rosemary or having it on a cotton ball if there's somebody who's able to go back in on test day to where they're smelling that rosemary. There's actual scientific studies that have been done that rosemary helps stimulate the memory of what was studied. They get better test results.
It's funny because I grabbed a packet of rosemary. You don't want to use this per se because this is the actual leaves, but get the oil.
Yeah, diffuse the oil. And that should help do some retention of what they're studying, if they really are, or if they're sneaky like mine was and have the screen up there but not be doing anything with it. Yeah, so it's always fun when science actually backs up like what us like woo-woo people say works.
Us woo-woos.
Yeah.
Gotta watch the woo-woos.
When our woo-woo tribe gets validated by actual science, and then we're kind of going, we told you so.
Right.
There's a reason why we've been doing it.
Yeah, we're not just making it up.
Nope. Oh, I forgot I brought these over. Another stone for creativity and inspiring, spirit quartz. Looks like regular, like amethyst quartz, except, and it's hard to see, but it's got all of these little bitty points all over it.
She's like,
how about text
well, you
prep?
have till, what is it, June now? So you're all right.
Yeah, text prep procrastination. I mean, I would like to say carnelian, but let's face it, I don't know if any.
There is nothing for that. There's nothing known in the world. No, there's no such thing.
Yeah, that's more of a you just got to make yourself do it. Have more
I
wine.
suggest this. This will help with that.
May 15th. Okay, maybe it's May. I thought the one lady this morning told me
Oh,
June.
well, we have time then.
But
It's only March. We're good, Rhonda.
I dropped all my stuff off thinking because mine was supposed to be done by May 15th because of the type of the company that we are. And it's still not done. And I'm like, oh, good. Now we get to file an extension. Or they do. That's why I pay them.
No.
But I'm kind of that person, though. I'd rather drop it off and get it done so I don't have to worry about. I don't want it hanging over my head. And I'm just.
No, I finally put the app on my phone to start on my taxes. Because if I have to do it on my laptop, I'll never do it. I'll never pull out my own computer.
I'm also the rip the Band-Aid off and get it over with type person, too. I'd rather just suffer now and then be free later.
I have to be in the right, I don't know. I have to put my tax preparation hat on.
So maybe carnelian. Try carnelian.
Yeah, carnelian's good.
Oh. I'm Virgo rising. Sun sign Aries, Virgo rising. If that matters. I don't know. I do everything quick, fast, and it better be perfect, damn it.
Those Aries.
I know. I'm trying to think what else can we give suggestions for. I had a whole bunch lined up and then today just got away from me.
I don't know, you want to talk about the books in the corner, or what time is it?
The books in the corner.
The books in the corner of the table.
Oh, well, I kind of pulled some books over for fairy, but I think I don't know if fairy's really going to tie in.
No, not today. Fairies will have to be another
I forgot
day.
that corner. Like I blocked it out. What corner?
There is no corner.
Yeah, try the carnelian, maybe citrine. Oranges and yellows are very energy. I know like garnet will help with like overworked, overstressed, overdepleted energy. So if that's maybe more of it, like you're overworked and it just feels like it's another thing that you have to do, and that's why maybe you're dreading it, try some garnet.
I have garnet by my desk, my work desk.
Sometimes finding out why, like what's the main reason for not wanting to do it or trying to put it off, and then address it from there rather than that top symptom, so you can really get to the bottom of it and take care of it. What else? I think that's...
Do you guys have anything for us? Any questions? Any more questions? Instagram's watching, but they're quiet.
But get creative with use your stones, like add stones to your candles, to your bath. Look it up first. Some are poisonous. Don't throw them in the water.
And some don't belong in water. Mm-hmm.
Sitting down and putting it together. Yeah, try the citrine and carnelian. The citrine should help with the concentration, or like the yellow fluorite, the clear mind to help keep it straight and like concise thinking. That way it doesn't feel like such a clutter up here when you're looking at everything that you got to file, and maybe it'll feel smoother to you and not as wanting to resist it as much.
No, it's not really a fun thing.
It's not, and that's why I hand it off and say, you guys do it. I have other things to do. But I think I like working with stones and I like working with candles. Those are my two favorite things. And because stones are so versatile, you can add them to your candles, you can add them to your bath, you can add them to your pockets or to your bra, as my favorite Hawaiian grandma says. She calls her bra the gravel pit.
The gravel pit,
because that's where she keeps all of her rocks.
That's great. I love it.
Yes, lots of caffeine and perhaps, or lots of citrine and perhaps no caffeine. So cup of coffee and some citrine.
Everything in moderation.
Here's something you can do too. If you're somebody that you do tea and or coffee in the morning, like whatever you're saying or your mantra, like stir it in, like this is what's coming to me today, and then drink it, because now you're putting that intention also in. Do it at dinner time. Sprinkle your salt and pepper or whatever herb you're going. This is my blessing for this. This is what's going to bring me this. There's so much you can do. It really is just getting creative. And how can you do that? So, like rosemary, again, bringing through something. If you do a lot of cooking, use that rosemary as your birthing of the new energy. Every time you cook and every time you're eating it.
And it smells and tastes fantastic. I love rosemary.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of my faves.
Just get creative. Like I have the jars here that say like magic, gratitude, blessing. I can always make one, like if you need one that says fertility or creativity, or, let me know and I'll see if I can get one made.
Even one that says focus. Sometimes we just need that.
So, then kind of bless that jar, and anything that goes in there helps carry that intention forward for you in whatever you're cooking or wherever you're sprinkling it. So yeah, you make your focus jar and then you sprinkle it over your kid's head.
Yes.
Focus, darn it. Trying to think of it's really getting creative and using what you have.
Excuse me. So let's see. We have a question that tomorrow is March 26th, luckiest day of the year. Mm-hmm. Any particular stones you suggest to work with tomorrow?
Tiger's Eye is considered a really lucky stone, especially for gambling. Mm-hmm. And then if you have tonka beans, those are really lucky. So are buckeyes. But Tiger's Eye would probably be the best stone for, just luck in general.
It's good to know.
Mm-hmm. So if you have Tiger's Eye, throw it in your pocket. Can't say that definitely go play the lottery, but maybe you should.
You won't win if you don't.
Right.
That's for certain.
Elias says his dad used to use a focus ruler.
Well, that might work too. But
Mhm.
we don't want to use that on ourselves if we're the ones that are putting off stuff. Or maybe we do. I don't know.
There's a lot of true crime
No
documentaries
judgment.
about people who did that.
No judgment.
Right. You do what you gotta. Nobody's gonna say a thing. Nobody's gonna know. But yeah, if you have tiger's eye, tomorrow's a lucky day. Go use that tiger's eye to your advantage. Go be lucky.
Nothing
And
wrong
let
with
us know
that.
how you were lucky.
Yes,
me know what you
now
got.
we're curious to know.
Mm-hmm. We want to celebrate it. Why not?
That is right.
I have lots of tigers. Oh, I just looked
Spring.
over. Yeah. So we have these little blends. I forgot because it's hidden over here. You know, here's a fun thought. Use lotions. Bless your lotion. If you make your own creams or lotions, you can add whatever's in there that you want to bring forth. Make a little sigil or write in top of the cream, and then there you go. Every time you use it, you're getting that intention. This one's like Spring Witch. But, same thing with roll-ons. If you do your own
Do it in
essential
that
oils.
pattern.
Mm-hmm.
Do it in that.
Mm-hmm. Didn't nuns use the rulers too? I've heard they did.
Yes, I got cracked on them on the palm of my hand. It wasn't a nun. It was my kindergarten teacher. I'll never forget it to this day. Was playing cars with a boy and the car broke and we both got our hands smacked. I think I was tougher than him. I didn't cry.
You didn't cry.
At least that's how I'm remembering it.
My mom went through a Catholic school, and yeah, there's a lot of corporal punishment.
Mm-hmm.
that
Well,
went on.
at least now they don't, beat being left-handed out of people like they did at one point in time.
Mm-hmm. I don't think my aunt's left-handed, but her and my mom have really pretty cursive. But the way my aunt holds her pen, it's almost over, like how a left-hander would kind of write.
Okay.
And she used to get in so much trouble because she wouldn't hold her hand like a normal person. And so they would actually tape her hand to the desk and tell her that's how she would have to write, and she couldn't do it.
I always wanted a lefty. When my firstborn, I would constantly try to hand him things left-handed. It didn't work. He was righty. My second one was a righty. I finally got a lefty with the baby, my youngest, and couldn't teach him how to do a damn thing because I'm right-handed. So we were on like a mom and kid bowling league, and I couldn't help him because I'm like, I don't know. This is different to me. I don't know how to help.
I can't do the left stuff.
I can't scissor. I can't print left-handed. Can't do any of those things. So careful what I wish for, apparently.
Yeah,
But he definitely has that writing.
that hook over.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she does, but I'm pretty sure she's right-handed. And that's another reason, like, it made the nuns even more mad because she was writing like a left-hander, but she was a righty. And
So she had that.
And they taped
That's
her
so
hand
mean.
down to make her, and she couldn't write like that. The joys of Catholic schools and some public schools. I was just in military schools and didn't have to worry about it.
Well, today's schools, they're so worried that parents will come in and throw lawsuits at them that
I do feel really
they
bad for
could never do
teachers.
anything like that. And it's gone from one extreme to the other. Where
Good friend of the store who's done some of the videos for us. She's a teacher, and just listening to her stories and how some of these kids are getting away with like pretty much
murder,
threatening and physically threatening and stalking teachers and making their life hell, and the teachers have no way to get around it. And if they try to force the issue, the teacher gets in trouble.
Years ago, I was on a flight to Florida, and a teacher from a more prestigious public school, so in the greater Cleveland area, a suburb that is pretty affluent, sixth grade, like sixth, seventh, eighth graders, middle school. And she said that they had a girl who would wear heels to school, and she kind of tripped and twisted her ankle. So the school had put out a memo saying that, for safety reasons, no heels. And one of the moms came to school with their lawyer
Oh my God.
regarding that decision, because how dare you tell me? It was just quite interesting. It was a very eye-opening experience talking with this teacher. So,
I wanted to go back for the depression thing real quick. Orange calcite, which can kind of look anywhere from this yellowy orange
to a deeper orange.
to a deeper orange. I like the orchid orange more myself. It's a highly energizing and cleansing stone, especially for the lower chakras. So it helps clear out all that junk.
Mm-hmm.
And that sense of self and that self worthiness.
It helps boost
that's where some of the depression and the low self-esteem comes from, because it's not how it should be. So that's going to help take care of that. Balances the emotion, removes fear, and overcomes depression. Dissolves problems and maximizes potential. The stone helps the reproductive system. So again, back to the fertility and bringing that forth. The gallbladder, intestinal disorders such as irritable bowel syndrome, it removes mucus from the system.
Yeah, I need to put mine back on. I was gifted one.
So the orange calcite might help not only with revitalizing energy, but dealing with the depression and kind of taking care of some of those lower chakras and the self-worth and the self-being and the I am enough and I am smart enough to do this. But yeah, I
have another question. Facebook user.
Yes.
Wants to know if springs are really, or if eggs are really a good symbol of spring.
It is, because eggs are the whole bringing forth something. Birth happens inside that egg, right? That whole transformation. It's the symbol of the potential of something coming, and then the life that comes out. So we have, like the gemstone eggs. We have really pretty fluorite eggs, actually. Those are probably my favorite. But this is another reason why there's the whole egg decorating at the Easter time. Really has nothing to do with the Christian faith, but it's something that they helped adopt to bring over, the radical heathen pagan people into the fold.
Right.
So let's decorate those eggs, shall we? But it's, those decorations were really sigils or things that you would put on that egg. And a lot of times they were gifted, so if your neighbor was trying to have a kid or something, you would write your good intentions and gift them that egg. You were giving them the fertility because of what comes from that egg. So that could be something if you have a friend or family member who is trying their darndest to either have a kid or write that next book, create that website, write that intention on there, and then gift them that potential of creativity and birth that comes out. Thank you. But now we just dunk them in colors and write things on them.
Put a little wax crayon on it, dunk it in.
Mm-hmm.
The story behind it is interesting now, how Easter eggs and the Easter bunny came about because of Astera and the rabbit.
Mm-hmm.
And the rabbit was banished into the sky and is actually now and I can't remember the name of it's near Orion though, in the sky. And once a year, he's allowed to come down. And his gift is that he lays the eggs. So that's his gift.
There we go. Because I always wondered, I'm like, how do rabbits don't lay eggs?
Well, this one does. Once a year.
This little bunny does.
Mm-hmm.
This little bunny foo-foo.
Right. And I'm sure like me, most of us, we kind of celebrate all of those traditional and non-traditional holidays, right? So we used to color Easter eggs too at Easter time. I didn't do it before that, during
See, I was always, once I had my kids, we didn't do the Easter basket because I'm like, we're not doing that. I would make spring baskets, and my son actually for the longest time, and he still kind of does like gardening. So I would get them like little buckets, and I would put like new spring seeds, like little hand shovels and trowels and stuff for working out in the yard, for helping, because he really did like doing it. And that's one thing too, the soil working in the ground has an antidepressive energy to it. And I'm sure if you look online, you will find the reports on it, because it has to do with the soil. It's the chemical makeup of the soil and then how it reacts in with the body. So not only will you help bring forth new life and growth in your yard, but it also helps you. So it's like this reciprocal, it's like a thanks that's given back to you by helping that happen. But it's more, the soil's got to touch the skin. So wear shorts and kneel down if you don't want to walk around barefoot. Some people like having the gloves on. If you can do it barehanded, get it in your hands, clean your nails out later, but touch the soil and let it help and heal you as you are helping it to bring new life in. Microbes. Yes. So, and here's an idea. If you do a lot of planting, plant certain flowers in certain symbol formations that maybe you only know what it means. Your neighbors aren't going to. Who cares? They don't need to know. Or on your pots, write the symbols on the pots.
Yes. And it doesn't have to be a symbol that's known. It can be your symbol that you create that represents what you want it to. You don't need a book to tell you. You don't need, it's yours. And then it's even more, there's even more intention behind it because you created it. Whether it's a wavy line, a circle, the letter I, a backwards K, it doesn't matter. It's all yours.
There's no one way to do it.
No.
But yeah, if anybody's got any more questions.
I think we've been jabbering away for quite a while.
I know, we got way off topic for a minute there. I'm like, bring it back.
Lost steering.
We'll be editing that out.
You lost some steering.
Right. No more power steering fluid. We should do a sigil workshop. We could.
Mm-hmm.
We absolutely could.
Well, guys,
I have another hamster wheel turning.
Oh boy. She's got a lot of hamsters up there.
They're tired little things, but they keep going.
All different wheels.
At least these hamsters, I don't have to clean their cage or feed them.
Oh,
just a nap every now and then.
Yeah.
A nap would be good.
What are those? Naps? I've heard of these things.
I take back
I feel like it's mythological.
I take back every time I complained about napping as a kid. I should have just embraced it.
Remember how you hated being grounded as a kid or sent to your room?
No, I liked it.
See,
I liked going to my room.
I didn't. And now I wish somebody would send me to my room.
Oh, good. I'm going to go read another book. Thank you.
Yeah.
This sucks really bad. Introvert.
Extrovert.
But yeah, well, thanks for joining us, everybody. Not quite sure what we're going to do next week. Leave suggestions or comments there in the comment section, because we can still see those even afterwards.
Right.
And if you're watching on a replay, feel free to ask questions and we'll answer. If you have not already, join our Facebook group, the Goddess Elite Divine Offerings. That's where we're putting special notifications, new things when they come in. They get first showing and first dibs. And there's specials and special pricing that only people in the group get. I don't put anything out in the store about it. When you come in, you have to say something or you won't automatically get that pricing. Right. So go ahead and look for that. We still have the Box Wine and Witchcraft podcast, which hopefully new episodes will be coming out soon. We'll see how much of editing I can fix this one and put that up there. But there are other topics that are on the podcast that aren't here on YouTube. So feel free to go hunt that down. Alexa, the reader, helps put out some of those for us. Future topic, April Fools. What is it? Does it relate to the Fool's Journey? Good question. Mm-hmm. And that might be one I might even partner with Don on. Don, he's one of our readers. Yes. And he does excellent tarot workshops. And this man is a tarot master. And the amount of tarot cards he has is just...
They have a whole room dedicated in their house, don't they?
Yeah. Yeah. And it still flows out. Like he's got hundreds and his wife has a couple hundred herself. And if there's ever a tarot shortage, we just go to Don's house.
Right. We know where to find them.
We'll find them. So, but thanks for joining us, guys. And if you have, like, again, questions or comments or ideas, feel free to put them in the comments. Everybody will get to see them and share. And feel free to talk amongst one another there too if you have suggestions for other people. It's all about helping one another. So we encourage that. It's why we do this.
Exactly.
Not that it's another reason to drink more wine or anything.
Ready
But,
for a refill?
I don't know. I'm getting kind of sleepy. Yeah, drive home.
Well, thank you, everybody.
Thank you, and we'll see you next week.
Be safe.
Have a great night, guys.